Sitting down with my man Kamal Bey, the new Olympian. Kamal, first question for you is when the news broke, how did it get to you? Who made the phone call to you to let you know that you were now in for the Olympics?
Um, I knew pretty much like off the jump. For me, I was waiting for the IOC pretty
Hmm.
much to release the ineligible list. I looked on there and I saw that Sergi was listed as ineligible, and I was like, okay, I got a real good chance of getting in here. Now it all depends on how UWW decides, where it falls back to. But lucky enough, last chance qualifier, and I was one match shy, losing against Hungary's Zoltan Levi. But one match shy, but I was like that day too. I had to go out there and get after it just to make it there. So
Yeah.
not what we wanted, but it was good enough to get to where we needed to be. So fortunate, very fortunate in that aspect.
Yeah. Were you said you were keeping an eye on everything. What was that first initial feeling once it all became official that you were going to be going to Paris?
Um, it just felt like I wasn't doing all this wrestling for no reason because I was like they still had me in the gym, they still had me training, so like I would be like working out super hard in the mornings, working at the OTC, working at WCAP, going back and forth. My teammates working me out, telling me you got to stay on top of it. And I was like, man, like I'm doing all this hard work. If I'm not going, like my heart was gonna be broken.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep a level head. But once the news broke, I was like, man, I jumped out of bed. I was excited. I was telling my wife, I was like, look, 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 look. I was like showing her my phone. I was like, hey, there's a good chance. I called Herb immediately. Called Timmy Hands from 5 Point Move. We talked it up, chatted it up, talked about all the possibilities, scenarios, and stuff like this. Information we knew, information we weren't going to say yet, just in case we had to argue back and forth type deal. But I think we handled it, really professionally. We waited till UWW decided, the official list of the reallocated athletes, and then we made our posts and stuff. But I knew for like a week that I was gonna be the one going. It's just so hard trying to keep it in, and like you tell like one friend this, one friend that, and then like it just gets out, and I'm like, hey, no, you gotta take it down. Like the UWW hasn't released that yet. It's crazy, man. It's crazy keeping it all bottled up, but we did it, and yeah, we here now.
Yeah. So you talk about all the work that you've put in to get to this place, and you've obviously have senior level world medal, or you have senior level medals, and you have that junior level world title. But I want to take it back to high school when you were one of the most dynamic folk style wrestlers in the game. A match that always kind of sticks in my head was when you were going to match up with Mark Hall at the Clash, and everybody was waiting to see that. Fast forward to when you announced you're going to be going the Greco route, and you're not going to be wrestling freestyle, and you're not going to be going to college and doing kind of the normal route. And now you're here and you're becoming an Olympian. Does all of that, even though people didn't expect you to get to where you're at, does all of that kind of coming to fruition, does it really kind of satisfy that notion of you made the right choice?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, shoot, where we came from, Oak Park, so much talent in the room.
Mm-hmm.
We had, Ellis Coleman, Greedy Coleman, Sammy Brooks, Nick Dardanes, Chris Dardanes, Larry Early, Isaiah White, and my team, Devontae Mahomes. Like we were a stacked powerhouse, and those guys went on to pursue their wrestling careers in what direction. I still remember when Matt Lindland came to my high school, and it was like, hey, you want to come wrestle Greco? My junior year of high school, and I was like, yeah, man, I'll pack my bags up and let's go. And moving in, and then living with TC Danzler, my favorite Greco-Roman wrestler, and like just how he coached me up, and it's just like all the stuff that we have to do to get to where we're at right now is just like, man, come on. Like I like busted out in tears. I called my dad immediately, and I was like, Dad, like all those times you made me run up and down the stairs 60 times, like it did something because we here, it was so emotional. And him being my biggest support, my dad driving me across the country, to experience the national level of competition, and just like going after guys who are really good in the country, like not sheltering me. Like sometimes people like, I think it's a bad habit, the kids just wrestle in state. I think you got to hit the national circuit, the international circuit. It's just like you said, I'm still stunned, I'm still excited about it. I think I found out at a good time because like I shoot all this anticipation, like all these guys have to wait like months out. Like I find out in like June, so I'm like in the gym, I'm working, I'm like, yep, we going, it's done.
Yeah. You talked about all those guys that you had in the room, And, I can remember coming and visiting you guys and seeing how you guys wrestled and seeing how you guys practiced and everything. And it was amazing because you guys had so much talent that was in that room and you guys worked so hard. What's your relationship like now with those guys? Isaiah is in Nebraska, or at least he was out in Nebraska, and Larry was, an All-American at ODU, and Gabe is doing his music thing. So you guys have all gone different places, but what's it like now? And have you talked to those guys since the news came out?
I speak to them like almost every day, man. We're in group chats. Like the rest community is a small community, but like your boys is an even smaller community. So like Isaiah, he was one of the groomsmen at my wedding. Gabe, I still talk to Gabe. I'm like, he's still producing, making music. I think that's super cool. I can't do it. I'm not that talented to make some music. Larry, yeah, me and Larry, we talk a lot. He got really into shooting recently. He's like shows me like all the videos and stuff of like all his new weaponry and stuff. I'm in the army, so like we got all that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'll say like we talk a lot, man. It's just normal for me. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's get into the field. And obviously you said you came up a little bit short at the qualifier, but you're ultimately still going. And all those things kind of had to happen. When you look at the field and you see who's in there, and obviously, Greco hasn't been doing as well as we would like to in the United States. But when you look at the field, what do you see when you look at these guys and how you match up with them?
I think it's super relaxing, the fact that everybody is good at Greco. So like when you go internationally, you're gonna wrestle with somebody good. So like there's no need to like worry about like, hey, is this guy, strong? Is this guy, technical? Is this guy fast? Yeah, all the above, bro. All the above is what I tell the younger guys coming up next. And when I look at the field, I'm like, it's just like another tournament. Everybody's gonna be good. So wherever they end up placing me in the bracket, is just like, hey, we got to win the first one, of course, and then move on from there. So. Not, too worried about it. I'm pretty familiar with everybody in my weight class. We do a lot of camps internationally for Greco-Roman, and you wrestle these guys every day. So, just focusing on myself and what I can improve.
So a lot of the things in here in the United States, like you say you do a lot of international camps, but you guys have had some coaching changes and stuff like that. But for you, you're a WCAP, so things are very consistent for you.
Yes.
When you look at Greco as a whole, what kind of changes would you like to see? And how has it been kind of up and down with you, like for you with having all these coaching changes and trying to get everybody to be a cohesive unit? And, you're one of the faces now. You are one of those guys that people expect a lot from. How has that kind of played a role in your training and preparation of not just you, but the entire team?
Well, I'm the leader of USA Greco. I say it every time I hop on the thing. A leader of USA Greco because they don't need... The other guys don't need the pressure. I love the pressure. I think it makes me wrestle better. I think, I handle it really well being a leader. And I like to lead the charge, man. When there's a tournament going down internationally, like I want to be in the medal round. I want to be in the conversation. I want to do all these things for USA Greco and show the younger guys like this is what it looks like. It's not always pretty, like sometimes you get hit, you hit eye, knee, and you got to get back up and kind of just roll with the punches. But yeah, but a lot of people don't realize the changes USA Greco has had. I remember when I first got to the training center and I was like 17, 18 years old. We had like so many good athletes. Robbie was there, Ben was there, Jesse was there, Sancho was there, I was there, Rayvon was there, Patrick Martinez was there. We had like just like a good solid group of guys, and we were going into international competitions and we were winning senior level medals. But then the OTC decided they wanted to go a different route, and they changed it. They changed it from a senior level program to a developmental program. So they they ended up kicking away all like our senior athletes, and then it was just like me and a couple of people who lived in Colorado at the time working out. I remember one time me and Rayvon were like the only two people there, and it was just like, how are you supposed to compete against international competition, and there's just two people there. If Rayvon gets hurt, then I have nobody to wrestle with. And now I'm just like working on bands, and then you see like just this decline because at one point sky was the limit. I was winning in senior level competitions. Tracy was winning senior level competitions, but then when we don't have anyone to train with, everything sort of just goes downhill. And I wish, I would say it's getting better, but we are getting more consistent in the Greco-Roman things. People are holding people accountable, athletes, coaches, and stuff like that, to the point where it's getting consistency like the WCAP program. I just see how far I came like when I got a program with people who was consistently there, and then me being there and helping the team get better. They start getting better to the point where they're pushing me to get better. So it all goes like sort of hand in hand, if that makes sense. OTC and WCAP, we're forming a little bond here because we're in the same state. We're like 15 minutes apart from each other, so leaning on each other to get better.
Yeah, and you guys have really brought that consistency with WCAP. So, you've talked about the impact that it's had for you, but how have you seen it really impact people that aren't even part of the WCAP squad, where the training and the consistency has started to kind of spill over to the entire Greco community?
It's that that chase me attitude, man. Like these young guys, older guys, they want to make teams, and when you have that guy just like constantly in your way, it pushes you to improve. It pushes you to get better. And I see people growing. I see athletes getting better. Peyton Jacobson, one of the guys. Max Black is one of the guys. Like I'm watching these dudes who are like really into the Greco, because like it's not like you can like it. Like you have to like love going out there fighting people, and you have to love going out there fighting good people. It's like it makes me excited, because we also got a couple young guys on the WCAP team that are coming up who are going to do amazing things, and I'm just happy I get to be a part of it. We got Justice Scott, who's a freaking beast, man. He's a dog on the mat, and then Billy, man, once he comes into his own, he starts getting into the weight room, get stronger. He's going to be a monster, but it's up to people like me to go out there and get it done so they know it can be done.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned Tracy, and obviously he's doing his thing in the WWE, but he was in the position of being the face of USA Greco for a while, right? He was 100%. Winning those world medals. What was that relationship like to have a guy on your team that was going through the same things? What was that relationship for you and him like? And has he reached out to you at all throughout this entire process?
Oh yeah, we talk. Me and Tracy talk all day, every day, man. Like he's always giving me tips about life, always giving me tips about fishing. He's without a doubt my big brother, my groomsman at my wedding. Like this guy will like forever in my heart type stuff. I miss him every day, man. I miss him every day. Like it was just something about like going through tournaments and like you just see Tracy, like he'll tell it like it is, and that's how I sort of like I adopted that. It's just like, man, like that match sucked. Like when you have to dig it out, get it out the mud type deal. I'm like, that match sucked, and I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, I'm next. I'm on deck. And it's just that he's out there grinding, so I wanted to go out there grinding too. I never wanted to leave my brother alone, so just like him being successful pushed me to be successful, and vice versa. So. I missed them days, man. I missed the days.
How hard was it to lose him? And did you guys have a conversation when he said that he was gonna, head off to the WWE and become Tavion Heights?
Nah, man. Hey, life is good, man. And he's working, improving his life. He's married now, so he's doing really well out there. Like he is a showman. Like when I'm watching him on Peacock and stuff, like he gets me so hyped. And he's watching me compete internationally too. It's just that. Wanting your brother to succeed mentality. So it was sad when he got back. I just got back off my suspension. And I was like, dang, Tracy gone. So you gotta focus on where you can do and focus where you can win. So myself, I 2 year suspension. Back wrestling internationally, I had to figure out quick like where I was weak at, what I need to improve at. And my first year, I didn't do too bad, but not where I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. I lost my first match at the World Championships against, Olympic bronze medalist, world champion Nemes. But then I thought to myself, I was like, man, I only lost 4-2. It's my first year back. It's not a bad loss, but you still lost. So second year, it was just about remembering how the game is played. I built my body up. I was strong again. How the game is played. So I just perfected my strategy, and then. That year, I think I went to every international tournament I went to, besides Croatia, where I tore my knee in the beginning. I medaled at every international tournament, and then just fell short at the World Championships again. But the pieces are getting put together. Being able to compete against these guys, being able to beat these guys, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. They know I can do it. like I said, everybody at 77 is good, so we all got like that respect for each other. But it's just about like going out pulling the trigger at this point.
Yeah. So now with you added to the mix, you guys have four of the six Greco wrestlers headed off to Paris. Talk about the team a little bit. I mean, Joe Rao's been through a ton. You guys have some new blood that's going to be on the senior level now, on the world team with you, on the Olympic team with you. Talk about the team and what's the outlook, and have you guys kind of talked, and what's the training like for each one of you, and what are you guys really looking to do when you get there?
I think we're all looking for the medal. Illinois is the best Greco state. We got three guys from Illinois. Yes, we're claiming Peyton Jacobson. Wisconsin wants him, but no, he's from Illinois. We're claiming him. So, yeah, we got three guys from Illinois, me, Joe Rao, Peyton Jacobson, and then one guy from Michigan, Adam Kuhn. I give respect where it's due, but hey, we're taking Peyton on our side. I grew up with Joe Rao. Joe Rao wrestled on the team with my cousin over at Elmhurst when I was younger, and Joe used to come around all the time. And I remember me and Joe just have a relationship because we knew each other for so long. Like Joe was chasing me around the room one time, and I ran up the wall and jumped over his head, and then ran out the room, out the door. And he was just like, man, Oak Park, man. Everybody was super athletic. We used to do freaking Circus Soleil stuff before the matches even began. So I've always known Joe. We went to the Pan Am Games together and made different world teams together. So really familiar with him. Peyton's a NMU dude, but he's super talented, man. Super talented, hardworking guy. If you're looking for anybody who's in the gym still, is Peyton. Practice will be over, you see him over there doing his ab workout, his jump ropes, everything. I'm like, man, for me, as an older guy, that's good stuff to see because he wants it. Adam's doing his training, I believe with Momir in Michigan somewhere. So we'll probably see him next week at this last little training camp we have before we head out to France. But for myself, just improving where I can improve because I think I got a strong, solid strategy, but I would like to be a little bit more offensive and kind of push the pace more. I felt like that match against Levi wasn't offensive at all. More so, I was planning on them putting me down twice because they already did it when I wrestled Lori, So I was save my energy, but it's strategy. People don't, unless you watch Greco, you wouldn't understand the Greco strat, but hey, to each his own.
How hard is it to deal with that, right? Where you're going to be put down and you're wrestling internationally, so you always feel like you're kind of up against it. How hard is that physically and mentally to kind of have your own strategy, but still know that there's a lot of dynamics in the match that you don't control?
The refs control so much, man, and it's crazy because whatever they say goes. So my match against Sergi, I was 2-0 about to finish the period, and then I get teched by the refs. They put up 6 points on me, and I'm like, well, that's all she wrote. So hey, we gotta focus on day 2. I'm a much better one-day wrestler anyway. You gotta take the positives with the negatives. And what a lot of people don't understand is that in Greco-Roman, the refs can decide to put you down. They can put you down once, they can put you down twice, they can put you down 3 times. They can caution you for negative wrestling, saying you're not doing too much. It's all these different variables you got to be aware of, and still go out there and try to compete. You're not, and at this level, it's you're not gonna be able to just go out there and just bum rush everybody. Go ahead, try. We'll send you flying, dude. Hey, thanks for playing. As I like to say, 2 4s, I can go home. So different athletes, different strats. Some people underhooks, some people 2-on-1. So you got to learn how to counteract those, and then how you want to feel. Are you gonna a goer in the first period, or are you relax in the first period and you go in the second period? People are a lot different in that aspect. And then most importantly, you got to be able to hold center. People think you out of shape, but until you get into that phone booth for 6 minutes and you pummeling with a strong man, you'll understand how tired your arms get trying to just hold position.
Yeah.
So much, but there's so much strat that goes into it. I can go all day about Greco-Roman strat.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like such a mental game, right? Everybody, is drawn to freestyle because we have folk style here in the States, but the Greco game, there's so much more of a mental strategy to all of it. Would you say that was the biggest learning curve for you when you moved up to the senior level, was kind of figuring out the mental part of it? Because like I said, you were dynamic no matter what. Folk style, freestyle, Greco. Yeah, we've obviously seen the highlights of you in Fargo and things like that, and the highlights of you jumping over people in folk style. But in Greco on the senior level, like you said, it is a phone booth. So was that mental side kind of the hardest transition for you?
Absolutely, you gotta develop yourself. So you gotta go from like a junior mind state to a senior mind state real quick. Like when you first get on the scene, you might have success. I was having success just because they didn't know me yet, right? So here you got this young dude who's super athletic, super explosive, can throw from anywhere, and I was winning a lot of senior tournaments that way. But people get tired of getting tossed, and they start watching film. They start watching film, and then now they all seem to just like close off. They try to just close off and not wrestle me because I'm the best wrestler in the world. Pummeling is a whole different game. I think I'm like top 7 in the world probably at pummeling, but best wrestler in the world, top 7 pummeler in the world. Yeah, like you have to mature mentally if you're gonna be competitive in this game. Like like I said, like you're not gonna just go out there and throw everybody. You have to work for scores, and if the guy opens up, now you can throw type deal. It's like, or you get your 2, or you go for 1, go for 2, go for 4. It's a lot.
Yeah. So, a lot of people in the States want to see Greco really break through. What's it going to take for you and the Greco team to really break through and start collecting medals the way that you guys know you're capable of?
Um, I believe it's just the buy-in, man. We have the guys. I think we're more than capable. It's like it's no excuse. Like it's Greco-Roman is tough. Like you're really wrestling the whole world. Like some countries, in comparison, like if you look at how many people are in like a Greco bracket opposed to like a freestyle bracket, it's like that many more countries. Like I think some countries like Croatia don't even like have like an actual freestyle team. It's just the competition is like the quantity and quality. Like you're going against good guys, and it's not like an excuse. Like, but it just sucks that everybody's so good. Like your second match will be against like a world medalist, and like for us, I'm like that's a good draw in Greco. To wrestle like an Olympic champ, world medalist in the first few rounds because it's like you beat him, you can continue going on. But if you lose, then that guy's gonna carry you back. He has a good chance of carrying you back into the tournament. And they can redraw it. Like we don't get redraws in Greco. Like once that sheet's printed, that's what it looks like. I'll be telling the younger dudes, I'm like, hey man, like that's a good draw, dude. I'm like that guy's good. You beat him. Hey, smooth selling, maybe it's a maybe, but yeah, I think we just gotta buy in. Win those close matches. It's a lot. It's not a lot, but it's gonna happen pretty soon here. Somebody's gonna do it. If not me, somebody's gonna do it.
Well, I hope that each one of you breaks through and gets it done in Paris. I have no more questions for you, man. This is great. I love seeing the news, and I know there was an Instagram post the night before, and I was actually trying to track down all the news. I hit up UW, and
Yeah.
they got back to me the next day when all the news started to come out, and we were trying to dig into it and everything. I probably just should have asked you since you knew a week before what was happening, but I tell you what, it was awesome to see the news, see that you were part of the pack of reallocated wrestlers, and I can't wait to see what you do in Paris, man.
Thank you so much, man. I can't wait to go out there and do it for y'all, man. Let's get this gold, right?